So I'm coming in live from the Grand Wash hike in the Capitol Reef National Park in Utah. We are spending a day. We are trying to do a few hikes in the day, maybe one strenuous one. I think we're going to do the Hickman Bridge hike. We are obviously doing this, though we are not going to do this all the way because we came here at noon, so we have roughly a day, a little less than a day, and we want to explore as much of the park as possible. And then we are going to camp inside the park later in the night. So stay tuned if you want to learn a little bit more about Capitol Reef National Park and what we did in a day. I'm at the Capitol Reef National Park, and this is a red wonderland.
This is almost like you have been transported back to Mars. Just take off those greenery from everywhere and tell me, how does this look any different from what we have seen on the Martian or what the from the NASA photos of Mars? In the morning, we are driving in from the Bryce Canyon where we stayed overnight. This is like a 2.5-3 hours drive with a little bit of stopover. So, we're relatively uneventful drive. The road is pretty empty. There's not a whole lot to see and do over here until we kind of hit this point and sort of the whole land changes and becomes this dramatic mountains which rises up. Now, all good national park trips start from a stop at the visitor center. Though the fact that this is a much smaller park and lot less crowded becomes immediately apparent from the visitor center.
So we are just starting the Hickman Bridge hike. It's a moderate hike. Roughly should take an hour, a mile to go, a mile to come back. Now the hike starts off from this beautiful stream and we are gonna go up those stairs. So we seem to arrive at a small landing, a pretty sandy landing over here. This is right after we got down on a bunch of steps. So first we went up from the parking lot. There were a couple of flat patches. And then we are here. This is very sandy. I don't think I was expecting that. If you look at those rocks, they seem to have a lot of holes. So this must have been eroded out. This is very much a hike of the contrast. You have the red rocks right in front of us. We have the white rocks over there. We are going to the arch, right? So that's the thing which you see a lot in Arches National Park, but we have a spectacular arch over here. And then there are all the desert things happening, from the sand to all the desert plants. As you can see, I'm panting a little bit. This is a moderate hike. It is not too long, a mile each side, but it's constantly up or down. It is an amazing hike, but probably not great suited for young kids. One theory is those are hands and somebody climbed up, maybe a King Kong, and maybe they created that bridge to walk over. I'm on a small spur trail which goes off of the Hickman's trail. I don't know whether I'm going to pursue, but if you guys have enough time, no one is out here, and you get some huge expanse of view. So there is that river somewhere right over there. I think we came from there. Our car should be somewhere there. Alright, see what I was saying? Desert. This is a whole desert. This is a huge cactus. This was an absolutely amazing 1.5 hour long trip. It takes you to a beautiful arch, but that's probably not the reason you want to do this hike. But here, there are just so many surprises, from that beautiful river over there, all those, the deserty cactus trees, to those red rocks, to those white rocks over there, to those mountains which looks like they have been chiseled meticulously, to those honeycomb rocks. There is a surprise, a different element to this hike every 5 minutes. So yeah, I haven't done a lot of other hikes at Capitol Reef. This was our first, but this is going to be a very memorable hike. So this is the beginning of the Grand Wash. This used to be an old stream a canyon which has since dried out. Look at that.
Into total.
Oh man, this is... We are hiking on an old dried river. And you see those rocks sort of going straight up from each side. This is absolutely insane. Capitol Reef is one of the mighty 5 national parks of Utah, but it's probably one of the least visited. I need to check the numbers, but definitely a lot less touristy than, let's say, Zion or Bryce. So you will see when you enter the park, there is no sort of mandatory fees collection or a checkpoint, and also it means there's a lot less facilities. We for one have absolutely no cell phone coverage. Between the T-Mobile and the Verizon, we are at 0. This is, though, on the plus side, lot less people. This is the #1 hike in this park according to both NPS and All Trail and every other source from TripAdvisor to others. There's very few people compared to we did the Bryce yesterday. Oh, it was crowded. So this section you can really understand that this is a canyon. If you have ever been to a canyon, we went to the Antelope Canyon last year. This is a quintessential canyon. I actually think this is the Narrows, because here we can see the wall is closing in on both sides, and that's what is supposed to designate the Narrows section. And there is a tiny little cave right there. It's absolutely fascinating, but I just have a tiny hope that that is not the home of a mountain lion. Hello kitty. Kitty. Hello kitty. No? Okay. And look at that. Okay. We are calling it a day right here from the Grand Wash. Not a mile and a half in, we are turning back. So I am right now checking out some of the petroglyphs. This petroglyph tells of people who used to live here more than 1,000 years back. Then came the Indians, and we find a whole bunch of there are potteries and stuff all over this place. And then the Fremont Mormons, they came and they settled up over here, and they created a whole bunch of orchards. That's what gives this particular section the name of Fruita. So we are in the Fruita Historic District. That's where we are going to stay. That's where the campground is. And we are going to check out some of the orchards later. But this area has a fascinating history spanning over 1,500 years by 3 different groups of people. And we see some of those petroglyphs over here, and we are going to check out some of the historic houses, if our time permits, from the Mormon settlers. Alright, we are headed to the goosenecks, and the road right after the panorama point, it becomes a lot more, it is not a paved road anymore, and there are some restrictions on the vehicle length. We fortunately have a Jeep, so it is easy, but there's a lot of jerking. Where are the gooseneck points? There are 2 trails which goes from here. There is a goosenecks point, 600 feet long trail. So yeah, super easy, one of the easiest hikes you can do anywhere in the park. And right over there goes the sunset trail. So let's first check it out, the goosenecks point. As you can see, graffiti is a big problem over here because of all the petroglyphs. A lot of people come and do some vandalism and put up graffiti. So this tiny river, this really tiny river which you see, that's called the Sulphur Creek. It is a tributary of the Colorado River and is responsible for carving this over 200 million years from all the way up top, from the plateau, from this to all the way down below. It kind of seems unreal. So on that gooseneck over there, we see those white limestones. They were created by an ancient sea out here more than 250 million years ago. There are two different layers of that limestone which we see. One is right above that orange line and one is right below. The one above is almost 270 million years old and the one below is 280 million years old. They were all created by different parts of the sea, some from the dunes, some from coastal deposits, and this layer is called the Kaibab limestone, and here it forms the lowest layer what we can see from this Capitol Reef National Park, but it also is the highest layer in Grand Canyon National Park. Now, the gooseneck was absolutely amazing, but if you ever get a chance to visit Page, Arizona, that's where you are going to see the bigger brother of this guy, of the Sulphur Creek. The Colorado River has done this thing at a much more grandeur and larger scale. So we are at the Fruita Campground. We wanted to go and visit an orchard. We didn't realize that this is the orchard. And this is the view right in front of our campsite. This is a very, very unique camping experience. This is peach. This is just so much peach. Apricots is $2 per pound. Oh wow. So this campground is inside a historic orchard. We can go and pick up fruits. So you see all the fruits over here. Pick your own fruits. They have given the stick thingies using which you pick your fruits. Weigh them, pay them, and yeah. So this is the whole orchard. This is apricots, I think. I thought those are peach, but these are apricots. Hey, let's do this. Here there are a lot of easy ones. Okay. I don't think here I even need that's it. Maybe get one more. You want to do? And we got ourselves some apricot. Nice. So right before the Fruita Campground, there is a beautiful picnic spot, which takes you right next to the Fremont River. Trying to follow the noise of the river. We are trying to head down there. There is a bridge. There is a beautiful walk. I don't think we are going to do the whole thing. It is already 6:30. It's called the Fremont River Walk, which goes by the side of the river. So we are crossing the bridge over the Fremont River. It's absolutely beautiful, serene, and this brings us to another orchard here. It is the Marin Smith place. I don't know what exactly this orchard is, but here you can see all these orchards seem to have the sign of Capitol Reef Fruita Orchards. These are all part of the Fruita historical section. This is the home of Calvin Pendleton, who used to be one of those Mormon settlers who used to live here, and they used to live off of this land, who built an irrigation system and built all these orchards and their vegetables. Today this is a museum where you can come. We are leaving a little early, so we unfortunately cannot go in, but it is right next to the campground, so it opens at 9 a.m. and this is absolutely an awesome thing to bring kids and all. There's a small little house right next to a bunch of picnic areas. There's a few old horse-drawn carriages over here. There's a barn right over there. There's a bunch of horses still. So yeah, this is like a little bit of added bonus and brings you back to the history of this place once you come visit the Gifford House and Museum. It's night time at the Fruita Campground. There's somebody out there having a nighttime party. This is a dark sky park, but tonight It's cloudy and it is full moon. So we are not going to be able to see much stars up there. Good morning and welcome to the Fruita Campground in Capitol Reef National Park, where we spent the last night camping under a dark sky so you could see amazing stars right in front of those mountains. And look at those trees. Those are all apricot trees. This is a huge apricot orchard, and this has been one of the most spectacular camping experiences in my life. The only noise you can hear are the wind and the birds. There's nothing. There is no Wi Fi here. There is no people. There is no car honking. There is nothing. This is an amazing urban escape. Today, we are headed down to Zion National Park. It's going to be around 4 hours drive, so stick around if you want to check out the drive as well as what to do in Zion in roughly a day. And we are going to camp at Zion as well.